I'm a teacher, so I'm going to not suggest, but demand that you take notes. Because what we're going to do right now is we jumped right into being able to recognize chords of the key by ear, but we left out some theory in between that I think just might make things a little clearer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over a couple of just basic theory things that are going to help you understand orally, you orally identifying chords by your ear. And if you have any questions or any theory gaps, this is the time to ask them. Just say, why are you calling it that? Why are you calling it this? Because from this point on, we're going to just be moving on and adding other things. So this is the time to say, I don't get it. And I'm going to be asking questions, and I really want you to raise your hands because I'm a teacher. And if you all call out, well, the person who knows the answer is always going to be the first one to call out, and you're not going to have time to think about it. So I'm going to be asking you to raise your hands, and don't hate me for it. We may or may not have borrowed this from an elementary school classroom, so it's small, but whatever. Okay, so the first thing I just want to go over, and you may want to take notes on the opposite side of your paper. If you didn't get a paper, they're on the music stand in the aisles. Okay, great. All right, the first thing I want to go over is the musical alphabet. I know I'm literally going back to square one, but I just want to make sure nobody got left behind, and we're going to move pretty quickly if everyone gets it. The musical alphabet has, raise your hand, how many letters in the musical alphabet? Anybody, raise your hand. Come on, be bold, be bold. Pastor Matt, you can't answer. Yes, 7, thank you. All right. There's only 7 letters. There's only 7 options, and I'm going to put them in a circle just to give you that idea of that it's just a continuum. You can just keep going. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay? That's it. That's the musical alphabet. Okay? You've learned it all. That's it. Those are the only notes you can use. So any scale we do, you're never going to see a letter beyond these 7. Okay? But some of you may have seen in music, or when we're talking about chords, like we've been talking about, a symbol that looks like this and a symbol that looks like that. So anybody can tell me what that first symbol is? Yes, Miss Ann. Yeah, it's a sharp symbol. Okay, and what this is going to do is it's going to raise your pitch. Okay, so for example, these are the only 7 letters we can use, but there are pitches that are in between these that we like to use. So for example, A. A is going to sound like this. A. But if I want a note that's a little bit higher but not quite B, I can just sharp it. A sharp. And A sharp is in between A and B. So if we want to raise the note, we always have the option of adding a sharp. Same goes in the opposite direction. If I want a note that's just a little lower than A, but not quite G, A flat. So then we just put a flat symbol. So anyway, that's why you've seen these. This is a flat, and it lowers the pitch. And it lowers or raises the pitch to get the in-between notes between A and B, okay? Does that clarify sharps and flats for everybody? Any questions regarding sharps and flats? Yeah, Ann? Do I have black? I have brown. I can see if that works better. Yeah? All right. Sorry, girlfriend. I just like hot pink. I was going to go for it. Okay. So that's that. That's the musical alphabet. That's point number 1. We only have 3 points, so this should go pretty fast. Are we good? We're good here? We're good. All right, awesome. I got this keyboard really late. This thing here, whiteboard, so I didn't get to draw my really fancy piano. My husband's a really good artist. I, on the other hand, am an amazing artist. Okay, so just to outline, the second thing we're going to do is we're just going to go over a scale. Okay, C major scale is one that we've been operating on. Scale just starts and ends on the same pitch. So if we're doing a C scale, it's going to start and then it's going to end on the note C. Okay, so fill in the notes as we go through the musical alphabet. Can we say them together? First we have C. What has to come next? Then we have, then, yep, yeesh. C, okay? So that's the C major scale. It's that simple. You start on a C and you cycle around until you get back to C, okay? Now, I am going to do that real quick. So on the piano, I just want to show you how sharps and flats work real quick because I think seeing the visual of the piano helps you understand where they are too. anybody ever wanted to know how to find the notes on the piano, you take this groups of 2 black notes, right to the left of the 2 black notes is always C, and then you just fill in every other note after that. So if this is the note C, this would be the note D, E, F, G, A, B. Oh my gosh, did I really make the right amount of notes? That was incredible. Okay, so not bragging on myself or anything, but anyway, so that's how it works. So if this is C, can someone take a gander at what this would be? This would be C. Yeah, because it's in between C and D, so it's C sharp. There you go. Beautiful. Pros. You guys are pros at this. Now, when we've been talking about scale degrees are just, we give these numbers. So this is scale degree 1, this is scale degree 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These scale degrees are when we've been going like this. And that's scale degrees 3, 2, 1. And we use the numbers because if I want to start on G, we don't have to try to figure out all the different letters. It's the same relationship. I'll do it in the key of G now. See, it's still 3, 2, 1. Even if I change what note names it is, it's always the same pattern that we can recognize with our ears. That's why we use numbers. The numbers talk about the relationship. 3, 2, 1 is always going to sound like that no matter what note on the piano I start on. Give me a note, Sam. Any note on the piano. Oh my goodness. Why did I do it in that key? 3, 2, 1. You can do it with anyone at all. Okay. So that's why we use the numbers, because they just talk about relationships. So let's do some patterns. We haven't done these in a while, but I think it'll just activate our ears again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready, sing. 1, 2. Good. Should I do it in a lower key, or is that okay? We're all good? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, good. 1, 3, 5. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 4. 2, 1. Good. Now I'm just going to play the patterns. You're going to sing them. Ready? Good. Yeah. Oh, if you guessed 5, you are the second closest. 1, 1, 8. Oh yeah, but that does mean you're wrong. But you are the second closest. You are so close. 1, 1, 8. 1, 1. You see how they're the same note? They're just an octave apart. So that's C, C, C. That was just to get us in the zone, reminding us of how we identify these scale degrees by ear. All right, so then I have some questions for you. I want you to number 1, 2, 3. It's a little quiz. You ready? Because I told you I hate the calling out, because then, you miss your opportunity. So no missing opportunities here. Ready? Okay, number 1. What is the 5th scale degree in the key of C? Now, key and scale are the same thing. If a song is in the key of C, it just means it uses the C scale. That's it. It uses the notes of the C scale. Okay, so there we go. We just broke that fancy term. Key. Key just means what scale is the song in. So if it's in the key of C, it only uses these notes. Okay? So in the key of C, what is the 5th scale degree? That's number 1. Wait, don't call that. Number 2. Just write it down and then we'll go over them. If A is our 1st scale degree, so if we're now in the key of A, what is the 4th scale degree? Just write it down, please. So if we're in the key of A, meaning A is 1, what's our 4th scale degree? You can use our little wheel of love over here. Okay? And number 3 is what is the 5th scale degree if G is 1, if we're in the key of G. If G is 1, what is the 5th scale degree? All right, are we good? We're all good? I won't make you do what I make my students do. Make a funny face at me if you're done. I don't see enough funny faces. I guess Olivia's the only one that's done. All right, here we go. Number 1, what is the 5th scale degree of C? Beautiful. Number 2, the 4th scale degree if A is 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is 1. You have to count the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th scale degree would be D. Okay? And the 5th scale degree if G is 1 is G is going to be 1. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth scale degree of G is D. I think the only mistake we're making is not counting the first one. You have to count the first one because remember, I'm saying we're in the key of G. If we're in the key of G, then guess what's 1? G. Okay? Is that clear? Cool. All right. I hope I cleared some of that up. Now, the last thing we're going to do before we get back to our ear training, where we train our ears, is these are our scale degrees if we're just talking about melodies. Bum, 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 3, 2, 1. But what if we want to know what chords are going by, not just the individual notes? That's what we've been practicing, which it's called harmonic ear training. Okay, it's talking about the chords. Okay, so in the key of C, C can be played as a chord, and a chord just means 3 or more notes. Okay, so a chord means you're playing 3 or more notes at the same time. So here's C, and C can be played with some friends, and those friends sound really nice with C. And we have a C chord. Now, it's not really important that you know what those friends are unless you play a chordal instrument. So for those chordal people, can you tell me the friends of C major chord? Yesh. So there we go. That's our C chord, okay? We use Roman numerals when we're talking about chords, okay? Because if we use numbers, we're only talking about individual pitches. Yeah?
Is an octave considered a chord?
The octave can be in the chord.
Does it have 3 notes? I'm just curious.
Yeah, because, well, a triad is always 3, but a chord can incorporate more than 3 notes. So it doesn't always have to be 3. That's the only distinction. Yeah, good question. Okay, so if we're talking about the one chord, meaning it has C and its 2 friends, E and G, we draw a Roman numeral 1. So that's when we were doing ear training and saying, what's the one chord? We mean, what's the chord that is built off of scale degree 1? Does that make sense? Kind of? A little bit? All right. We're going to have a chord that's built off of 2, and he has these friends. And we're going to do a lowercase 2. And I'm not going to tell you why. I'll tell you why later. The 3 chord is E and his friends. I'm so sorry I'm using my elementary terminology. I've been teaching elementary school for too long. Here's our 4 chord. We have F and his accompanying chord tones. Here's 5. 6, and I would write these Roman numeral down just so you can memorize which are lowercase, which are uppercase, and you'll see why in a minute. 6. And then B7 is very special. He's lowercase and has a little circle next to him. D and F. And then 8 is again the same, which is C, E, and G, and here's our 1 chord again, okay? So, uppercase and lowercase, the only difference between an uppercase chord and a lowercase chord is what we call being major or minor, okay? So I just want you to hear what this difference sounds like, major and minor, okay? Major is going to sound like this. It's this happy, bright kind of sound. So I want you to write those distinctions. Write major, and then write bright, happy, whatever this chord makes you think of. I'm home from work. Major. No, that's not major. Major, you get the idea. Okay, so major has this bright kind of sound. Minor is going to sound like this. Okay, so minor has a little bit more of an intense, darker, somber kind of feel. So I'm going to play some chords for you. If you think it's major, can you give me a thumbs up? And if you think it's minor, give me a thumbs down. Like it's really sad sounding. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, that is so. And if you listen, it's 1, 3, 5. Sorry, I chose such a high chord, but you get the idea. 1, whatever. It's major. Good job. Let's see. Now, don't get tricked because I just went lower on the piano. Sometimes lower on the piano can make you think dark, but still listen for 1, 3, 5. If you hear that, it's major. Yeesh, that would be major. Okay? What about this one? Yes, exactly. 1, flat 3, 5. That makes it minor. Key. Fancy schmancy. Now, I'm not going to go into that. Why that's good. That was beautiful. Okay, are there any questions about major, minor? Okay, now we're going back to what we did last two times ago. Okay, we were identifying the 1 chord and the 5 chord. Okay. Can someone tell me, if you remember, what were qualities of the 1 chord? What were things that made you know it was a 1 chord? Do you remember some of the things we discussed? Should I review? Some of the things we discussed about being a 1 chord. Anyone brave? Seth Fowler, feeling brave? Okay, awesome. Okay, so the 1 chord is going to have do in it, and it's going to sound like you just finished playing everything, and yes, we're back at the 1 chord. So we have... See how I was like, well, that was really random progression, but you get the idea. All of a sudden, then it's 1, we're back home. So qualities that you can list. It sounds complete. It sounds finished. You're able to hum do. Do, because it's finished, and I'm actually playing 1. I'm playing the chord built on 1. So I'm going to play a bunch of chords, and then you're going to get to hear that resolution again at 1. But I'm going to play in a different key now. Okay, so I landed on 1, and you can hear that home bass kind of feel. Okay, so that's qualities of 1. It's got that home bass, finished kind of feel. And its root is do, and do just meaning scale degree 1, or scale degree 1. Okay, so that's, 1 quality. What are qualities of the 5 chord? Okay, you can tell I'm a music teacher, and I never really write on a board. Okay, 5 qualities. Does anyone remember anything about 5? Yeah, is that you, Miss Ann? 5 has got tension in it, and for 1,000,000 nothings, why does it have tension in it? Come on, be brave, I hear whispers. Tell me why, Tiff. Come on, somebody. Do you remember why? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know where you want me to go, but I'm not going there. Where am I supposed to go? Hey! That 7 tension is present in which chord? The 7 tension, the note B, is present in the 5 chord. So that 7 tension is in our 5 chord, and it always makes you want to go, 7, please go back to 1, 8, back to the 1 chord, okay? That's why 5 is always going to sound tensiony to you, because you got that 7 in there. All right? I'm done screaming 7 in your ear now. Any other qualities of 5? No, that's good, right? Scale degree 7. Yeah, scale degree 7. Oh, right, I could write that down. Tension because of scale degree 7. Okay. So let's hear that. I'm in the key of C. So that means C is do, and we're using the C scale. That must be the 1 chord because it just sounds complete. T, that's our 5 chord. T, and then I'm going to go back to do. So that's our 1 chord. Okay, now let's go to our worksheet. Before I do that, are there any questions about what I just went over? I know for some of you that's like a lot of review, but I'll tell you, I love, even though I just finished 8 years of music school, I love when I go to these because you pick up just like, even if it's the smallest hole that was in your learning, or a new way to teach something you've heard a million times. So, yeah.
When you change like the major, like if it was like the G major,
Yeah.
Is it always gonna look that way?
Is G major always gonna be GBD? Always. Always. It's the G major chord, yeah. G's friends are always B and D if it's a G major chord, yeah. So if you write these down, you have all the chords in the key of C. These are all the chords you'll ever encounter in the key of C. Well, I shouldn't say ever, but you know what I mean. Generally, yeah.
Does the 5 chord always have that 7 in it?
Yeah, it always has a 7 scale degree in it. Yep, always. So that's how you'll be able, no matter what key I'm in. Okay, I'll do it in the key of A. Here's 1. Okay, so T. Okay, all right, so now on that worksheet, I'm going to play combinations, patterns of either 1-5 or 5-1, and you just write what you heard. My husband did make the sheet so that it's 1 and 2 is next to it. I always confuse that, so I don't know if you're like me, but whatevs. Okay, here we go, number 1. We're going to go through them all. We're going to go pretty quickly. Number 1, here's your key. That's your key. So can everyone hum Do for me? Do, yeah. Okay, so you're listening for that to whether you hear the 1 chord or not first. Okay, so I'll play that again. You're just writing the order of the chord, whether it was 5-1 or 1-5. I played different than what I wrote on the paper. Okay, number 2. Okay, number 2 again. Alrighty, number 3. And I just keep changing keys so you understand it's just the relationship of 5 and 1. It doesn't matter what notes I'm playing. This is what 5 and 1 sound like, no matter what key I'm playing in. Ready? Okay, there's your key. So that was. Why do I keep playing what's different than what I wrote? Ready? Okay, here's the number 4. Again, 4. All right, we only have 2 more. So number 5 is, let's do it over here. For some reason, I find it so much harder to hear in the lower register, so. Is that too hard to hear down there?
Just give us the data.
Oh, the key, sure. There's your Do. You're right, that makes it so much easier. Was that number 5? Yes, right? I think that was 5, so we're on our last one. I don't know what I was playing. I wrote it wrongly. Okay, last one. And I'll do it in this key. Okay, here's number 6. Okay, number 6, one last time. All right, big stretch. Okay, let's run it back. Number 1, the chord progression was, give me the first chord. Yeah, and then it was? Beautiful. So the first one was 5-1. 5-1. Okay, number 2, the chord progression was, yes, and then it was 1, and then 5. Number 2 was 1, 5. Okay, number 3 was, then, beautiful. Number 3 was 1, 5. Number 4 was, yeah, it was 5, 1. Great job. Number 5 was, I don't remember what I wrote. So can somebody tell me what 5 was? It was 5, 1. Okay, I did play what I wrote. 5, I had 5, 1. Is that what I played? Good, thanks. Okay, good. And 6 was 1, 5. You guys got it. Now, do you want to hear the greatest news ever? I think it's great news. You're halfway to like every worship song, okay? Every worship song, I don't want to say every, most of the worship songs that we play use primarily 4 chords. You are halfway to being able to hear a worship song and play it, which is pretty cool. And the third chord I'm about to teach you right now is so easy because the third chord we're going to learn right now is 6. What do you notice differently about 6's Roman numeral than everybody else's? It's what? It's lowercase. Is that what someone said? Nobody? But it's lowercase, which means that it's what? Did I tell you that before? Lowercase means it's minor. It's the only one that's minor. So when you hear that dark, oh no, I forgot to do my homework. Minor, it's a 6th chord. So that's it. All you have is 1, which is home bass, beautiful. 5, which is, ooh, that 7th note. And 6, which is minor and dark. So this one shouldn't be too difficult to add because it's the only one that's minor. So we're actually going to skip lines 7 through 10 because you just did a great job on 1 through 5. And we're going to go right to 11. Okay, I'm going to play some for you. We'll just do one together. Okay, I'm going to play in the key of C, so I'm going to use the C scale. Okay, is the 1 chord. Then we have the, which is the T, so it's the 5 chord, and then we have, that's your minor, and so it's got to be 6. That's it. Back to 1. Okay, so that's what 1, 5, and 6 sound like. Let's just try one. I'm going to do number 11, and we'll see how it goes. It won't be scary. I'll be with you, I promise. Okay. All right, ready? Number 6 on number 11. Number 11. Ooh, am I in the wrong key? What chord did I just play? No, that was right. Am I in the key of A? I don't remember where I started. Yeah, I think I started on, no, I started on G. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. But anyway, I bet you could figure it out, even though that chord was not 6. I'll do one more time. I'm so sorry. I'm like ADD. I gotta get it together, girl. Okay, here we go. Number 11 again. Uh-oh, it's starting to sound like a song, right? Come on, you can figure out those chords. We'll do it one more time, okay? God bless you. Okay, does anyone think they know what that progression was? Shall we say it together? Yes, let's do it. Ready? First one was 1. The second one was, ooh, it was 5. And the third one was, hey, that was pretty good for our first try. That was awesome. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. Let's listen together. Ready? 1. You know what some of you are confusing? T. Because it's weird, you got it confused with whether it was minor or not. But just listen for that T. Maybe I'll put in a key that's a little more singable for us ladies. But 1, 7. So that's got to be the 5. And then is the minor chord. The minor chord was last. Okay, good. Let's do one more. Let's do the next one. Number 12. Number 12. Okay, everyone hum do. 1. Yeah, and that's the note D. Okay, so we're in the key of D. So that's D or 1. Okay, now here's number 12. I'm doing number 12. Okay, I'm going to do number 12 again. Any light bulbs going off? I'm seeing them. I'm seeing them. All right, run it back. Number 12. Here we go. First chord was? Yeah, it was. It's minor and scary. Okay, next chord was? Yes, it was 5. T. And the last chord was? 1. Raise your hand if you have any questions, like it's just not clicking, because from this we only add chords. Now it's just a matter of practice, right? I think we're all good. Awesome. Okay, so why don't we just do, I guess we got to book it, right? Should we just do 1 or 2 more? We have like a lot more. Should we just do 2 more? Let's just do 2 more. 2 more. Here we go. Ready? Everyone hum do. Yes. Yep, that's do. Do. You want to keep that in your head? Because by the way, if you hold do, just here's one more clue. Ready? Do. Now I'm going to play the 5 chord. Do. Do. Do you see how it's clashing? Because 7 is in my 5 chord, and it does not like to be next to 8 because they smush because they're next to each other. So everyone hum do. Ready? Sing do. Go. Do. I'm going to play the 5 chord. Keep singing do. Do. If that happens, it's the 5 chord. So that's another clue. You could just hum do to yourself, and if you hear that, if you hear this, which is what you were just singing, you know it's the 5 chord. Okay? Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is number 13, I think. Okay, here we go. Okay, this one's kind of tricky, so I do suggest trying to hum do to yourself. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so number 13 was, yes, it was 6, then it was 1, and we ended with, bravo, let's do 1 more. You guys are getting good at this. That's literally 3 of the 4 chords that make up the majority of your worship songs, so that is very impressive. Good for you. Okay, let's do one last one. Can everyone hum do? Okay, this is number 14. Okay, I'll do it again. Do. Okay, here's number 14. All right, let's finish it off strong. Tell me 14, the first chord was? Yes, it was 5. The next chord was? 6, and then it was? 1. Let's sing it together. Everyone hum. Wait, did everyone get, you got that right? Oh my gosh, you know what we need to do? We need to dance. No? We're not going to dance? Okay. All right, that was awesome. That was awesome. I think we should be done, because I think I see smoke coming out of your heads, but that was such good work. The smoke coming out of my head? Bravo. Great job, guys. That was awesome.
Nice job, everybody. So awesome, as Jess said, that's 3. You're 3/4 done with being able to pretty much listen to a song that comes on and just be able to instantly pick out those numbers. Now, just to be clear, if you've picked out those numbers, and let's say I'm not going to reveal what the last chord is. I'll say blank. But let's say you listen to a progression and you go, okay, I know what the chord progression is. I figured it out. It's 1, 5, 6, blank. I won't tell you what that chord is. We learn it next time. And you figured, okay, so great, I got it. So now how do you transfer that to your instrument? Just in case some of you are getting curious with that. So now all you have to do is get the key that you're in. We talked about the key of C, key of A, key of D. That you can't hear unless you have perfect pitch. So if you have perfect pitch, then you'll be able to listen and go, that's A, or whatever it is. A. I think that's a little low. A. It's just, if you don't have perfect pitch, it's not something you can do. So that you ask for. So you're playing and you're with people and you hear this chord progression come through and you just say, what key are we in? And they'll tell you. And once you know what chords to play, because if you know that it's the 1 chord and then the 5 chord, and they say we're in the key of C, you go, okay, so what's the 1 chord in the key of C? And what's the 5 chord? Yes, it's G, exactly right. So if they say we're in the key of D, and the chord progression is 1 and then 4, and we're in the key of D, what's the first chord going to be? D, and then G. D always counts. You always count that first one. D, E, F, G. You get the idea. Awesome. All right, so beautiful work, guys. Keep on this. What I would suggest you do is when you listen to music from either the radio or CDs or wherever you get your music, I would just listen actively, active listening. That means it's not on in the background. You're actively trying to hear that 6 chord come by. And at first, you're not going to be like, 1, 5, 6, got it, and suspended, got it. I'm hearing all these things. You're not going to hear them all. But every 5 minutes, you'll go, that was a 1 chord. That one right there was a 1 chord. You know what I mean? And eventually, you'll start to pick up on more and more as they go by. But it is important to start plugging it into actual things right away. Because what can happen is you can build this gigantic castle in the world of theory and not have 1 brick of it applicable in the real world. You know what I mean? So you're always trying to take the theory and plug it in. So, okay, what's the whole point of this? Is to be able to hear songs and know the chord progression. So immediately start trying, even if it's miserable failures. Immediately start trying. So you're just listening to songs, you're listening, I think that's the one. You ask somebody who knows, is that the one? No? Okay, awesome. And you just keep working on it. You just keep trying and getting better at it. But it's important to do real life trying, real life practicing, real life listening, active listening.